Jumbo, Ek, Asan, Abari Ghani, Haki Kweli Shakur, coming at you today. I'm about to drop this video that I told you I was going to drop a couple of weeks ago on the oldest, purest, indigenous, spiritual, traditional African system on earth. That's right, Voodoo, Vodou. I'm gonna drop that on that. I'm gonna drop a few things on that to give people a better understanding of what Voodoo is, what Vodun is, and the origins of Vodun and the origins of Voodoo and the misconceptions and understanding and demonizing of Voodoo by European supremacy to keep you detached from knowing this sacred nature traditional system that has been around since man itself, woman itself, in the beginning, in the creation. It comes from the divine essence of the creator in the universe, man. You know what I mean? Like, it gets no indigenous than voodoo, man. Vodun. So, I'm just, I'm gonna clear up all this negative energy, all this misconception, all this demonizing of our sacred ancestors' universal mystery system called voodoo, man. Because I know a lot of our people, man, they get so caught up in these Abrahamic religions, man. It's like they don't even realize what the elements of those religions come from, man. So, like I always tell all my comrades and all my people on social networks, man, I just want y'all to go back and try to find the original, you know, indigenous systems of Africa. Track back as far as you can and study these indigenous systems so you can get a better understanding of even those Abrahamic religions that's not truly your religion, because we ain't create none of that. You know what I mean? That come from outsiders, foreign invaders, man. They took what we had already in the motherland and created their own systems out of it. You know what I mean? So I just want to get that cleared up today also when I touch on this topic of voodoo. First, let me just pour out a little bit of libation for the ancestors, man, and the energies of the universe, the Orisha energies of the universe, the lower energies of the universe, your Bosom energies of the universe, your Netaru energies of the universe, and most important, man, our ancestral energies, man, because that's who's riding with us. That's who's in your DNA, in your blood, your ancestral energies, man. So I'm gonna just pour this libation out. You see, I got the incense, one of the oldest tradition, African traditions. You can, um, incorporate into your ancestral veneration of the ancestors and saluting your ancestors is the incense, man. The incense it was used in ancient and antiquity in Africa to some tribes and clans, to keep the negative energies from around their altars or keep the negative energies out of their, circumference while they pay homage to the creator, nature, and the ancestors, man. This is what the incense is for. You know what I mean? To keep that negative energies out of your circumference while you paying homage to either healing or prayer or just, giving salutation to your ancestors, man. So I'm gonna pour this libation out. This libation is for all my blood ancestors, in my family lineage, in my family blood, known and unknown. So as I pour this libation out in your memory, just give me the confidence, the guidance, the wisdom to, get this information across about our traditional African system called voodoo. I pour this libation out in memory of all of my blood and non-blood ancestors that I, pay homage to and love, man. And just give me the strength right now. I pour this out in your name and your spirit and to protect me and all the righteous people. I pour this libation out in your memory of the ancestors, man. Ashe. 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 Oh. You know what I mean? So, whatever you do, man, I just want to get this point across. Whatever you do, man, I don't care what it is, man. Always pay homage to your ancestors, man. You see what I'm saying? This is your power. This is the power that's within you, that's in your DNA. You know what I mean? What's in your spirit. You know what I mean? Everything that came before you and everything that died before you is your ancestors, man. You know what I mean? So I don't care what faith you believe in. I don't care what religion you in. If ain't none of them religions paying homage to your ancestors, man, it's a sham. It's a sham organization. It's a sham spirituality. It shouldn't be observed because your ancestors, man, is your spirituality, man. Your culture is your spirituality, man. You know what I mean? It gets no more spiritual than that. Nature, you being in tune with nature, it gets no more, it don't get no more, you know, traditional than that. It gets no more indigenous than that. You know what I mean? So I hope this video reach y'all mentally so you can start to help develop yourself to get to your higher self and to keep that lower self defeated and suppressed and to get in tune with your spiritual self, which is the supreme energy life force, man. You know what I mean? So let's get it cracking, man. Let me get into this subject, man. Voodoo and the misconception of voodoo. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is the biggest misconception of voodoo that I want to get clear to y'all. That comes from Hollywood, that comes from your patriarchal religions, your patriarchal preachers. I mean, all the negative stereotyping that they have placed on voodoo has been, it started ever since we was kidnapped and brought to these shores in North America, man. You know what I mean? And the biggest misconception is that voodoo is evil, voodoo is witchcraft, voodoo is just some type of just straight demon spiritual system that African black people use to do negative things, which is totally false, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know where Europeans get that from, but in a way I kind of see where they get it from, because when they came into our land of Africa, they came into the motherland, man, they had no true understanding of spirituality, because believe it or not, man, Yorugu, which is the deity in the Dogon systems that symbolize the European, is totally their mental capacity and their mental thought and their cultural behavior, which is non-spiritual. So when they came into Africa, man, and seeing what we was doing and how we was observing nature and how we was giving praises to our ancestors and all that, you know what I mean? And they totally thought that was demonized, because they was trying to demonize us from the get-go. So that was just part of the psychological warfare to detach you from your spirituality. Because once you're separated from your spirituality, man, you might well say you're a defeated people. You see what I'm saying? Because culture and spirituality is the ultimate, protection and defender of a people. You know what I mean? So once your culture and your spirituality has been compromised, man, that's your liberation front. That's your vanguard front, far as spiritually, to give you the power to protect your civilizations, man, and to teach your civilizations and to pass down this stuff throughout your lineages, to keep your clans, tribes, and civilizations and families intact. You know what I mean? And knowing who they are, and that's knowing thyself. You see what I'm saying? So once that is compromised, man, that's a weapon. You see what I'm saying? But let me get into voodoo. What is voodoo? What is Vodun? What is voodoo? It's basically dealing with three main elements and factors, man, that I want to touch on today. And the three main elements and factors of voodoo are: one, it deals with nature. Two, it deals with cosmology. Third, it deals with spiritual development. You know what I mean? That's basically what it is, man. And to make it even more, overstanding, voodoo deals with your four cardinal points. I like to say five because, the spirit is that fifth element of the elements. Voodoo deals with four elements, man. It deals with earth, fire, water, air. That's what voodoo deals with, man. Getting in tune with those. You know what I mean? And plus 1 is 5, which is your spirit. And what is your spirit? Your spirit is your energy. Your energy equals the creator. Because, I don't like to really use the word God. But for the people who are on that frequency and they use that term, your spirit is God. That's what's within you. You see what I'm saying? So, your 4 elements. This is what voodoo is. Earth, water, fire, air, plus 1. Spirit, which is what you are. Because you're just a spirit having a human experience. You know what I mean? This flesh is nothing. You know what I mean? It's something there. You must take care of it. You must take care of your physical body, because your physical body is the protector, it's your shield over your spirit. So this is why you must treat your body as a temple. Your body is your church, your temple. You're all these places where you go to worship. You're in it. You see what I'm saying? So let's get that understood. You see what I'm saying? This is what simple as what voodoo is. You know what I mean? And where did voodoo come from? Voodoo origins goes all the way back to the first universal system that derived in Africa, and the first understanding of a spiritual system comes from, like I said before, it comes from beginning of civilization and beginning of existence, period. You see what I'm saying? This starts with the creator of the universe, which I call Olodumare. We got thousands of names for the creator, but this is what I choose to call the creator, Olodumare. You see what I'm saying? Out of Olodumare, the creator, which you call God, which is the divine essence in the universe, is the beginning of voodoo. It's the beginning of Vodou and every other traditional African indigenous spiritual system. And out of that divine essence comes creation, which is your planets, the universe, which has masculine and feminine energies in it, which is duality, polarity. This is your beginning of voodoo, Vodou. You know what I mean? Out of the universe, the planets, and everything in existence comes nature. Out of nature comes humanity. Humans. You're humans. You see what I'm saying? So when we get into the earthly realm, and your first humans who descend from nature, the universe, the planets, and ultimately the creator, which is Olodumare, the divine essence, is your voodoo. You see what I'm saying? This is voodoo, man. They don't get no harder than this, man. Your spirit. Because first comes your spirit, which comes into the third dimension realm, then becomes a human, which is what we are today. A spirit having a human experience. Okay, moving on. As civilizations start to evolve, the universal mystery system that came from South Africa, the first universe system that moved from South Africa into Central Africa, the universal system from Central Africa that moved up the Nile, up through Tanzania, Kenya, Ethiopia, Somalia, Nile Valley civilizations up into Kemet. And as it was moving up the East Coast, it was also moving up the West Coast, because our African ancestors moved in all directions up Africa to get into North Africa and to move out of Africa, to take this mystery, universal mystery system all over the planet Earth. You see what I'm saying? Once it got up into North Africa, your Kemetic science and your Kemetic systems are your first universal system, which we call Voodoo. It's the same thing, in which your Netarus, the forces, the cosmic forces and energies of the universe emerged and put into story forms. You see what I'm saying? This is what your Netarus are, your gods and your goddesses. All of that first systems are voodoo. You know what I mean? But when it goes up into West Africa, this is your real origin of voodoo, which when they gave it the name voodoo. And voodoo comes from these people called the Fan people, who use the Fan language in West Africa, which is in Togo, and the people are called Iwe people. This is where the word voodoo and vodun comes from, and the system originates. And it's older. Some say it's 8,000 to 10,000 years old, but I beg to differ, because what I just said, your first universal systems comes from the beginning of existence and creation, period, from the divine essence. So when this first system started popping up in Africa, period, it came up out of South Africa. This is your first presence of voodoo. You see what I'm saying? So it's been here older than 8,000 to 10,000 years. You see what I'm saying? It's from just think of the beginning of existence, period. That's voodoo. Man, I hope y'all understand it, because it's so easy. I'm trying to break it down to my street combatants, my everyday strugglers, and my everyday people who are not up on this level of consciousness, man. So it's simple. That's what voodoo is. You know what I mean? And it comes from a people, the Iwe people, that's in Togo, which is in Benin, ancient Benin. You see what I'm saying? That's in West Africa, the kingdom of Benin. The word voodoo, you know what I mean? So voodoo is nothing but God. Voodoo means God or spirit. Period. It's that simple. This is what voodoo means. Voodoo means God or spirit. And in the Iwe people in Togo and Benin, they have a word that they say, you know what I mean, when they want to describe the nature of God in man. And this word is called voodoo daha. Voodoo daha is basically saying, to you that when you want to say the nature of God in man, you simply say voodoo daha, which is saying your energy, your energy, which is God, which is your spirit. So you are God. You are the goddess, black man and black woman. You see what I'm saying? You are voodoo. Voodoo is within you. It's all of your ancestral energy, which is your it goes all the way back to the beginning of your ancestor and your ancestral DNA, which is the divine essence, which is what people call the creator, or which is called God. Here's your first ancestor. You see what I'm saying? I know that gotta make sense to you. God, the creator, Olodumare, is your first ancestor. You see what I'm saying? And then all the ancestors, which is nature, the universe, the first humans, the first civilizations, are your ancestors. You see what I'm saying? Which is basically stating, when you say voodoo daha, you're saying and giving praise to your first ancestor, which is you, and which is the spirit that's within inside you, which is God and the goddess. That's all, man. That's all it is. You're giving salutations to your first ancestor, that's within you. Voodoo daha, the God in me, the nature of God in me. You see what I'm saying? And when you want to say, because it's in the total spiritual, so let me break this down. In the Togo spiritual system of voodoo, they have and the homie. Don't let me leave the homie out, which is in West Africa, because this spiritual system began in those two areas, which is the homie and Togo. You see what I'm saying? And they have a concept of their creator, and their creator is called Mawu Lisa. Mawu is the feminine energy, the feminine concept, the feminine female energy, which is half of the creator. Lisa is the masculine, the male, the male masculine energy of the creator. And together, they come together, which is the creator And that is their concept of the creator, the feminine and masculine energy together, which is Mawu Lisa. In Voodoo, which is duality, polarity, which is the two energies that's in all existing things. You see what I'm saying? The creator is made up of masculine and feminine energy. So don't get too caught up in just calling the creator one energy. Like when I be hearing people call God, they always, this is what patriarchal religion has done to our people. They get caught up into this one ideological theology concept of what the creator is. And a lot of us going around saying he, God is he this, he that. No, man, he's not just he. He's made up both energies. It's both energies. It's the source. You see what I'm saying? The divine essence is both energies together that come out of the creator, which is your feminine and your masculine energies, man. That's it. So don't get caught up in just calling God he. Because if you want to be technical and go even deeper, like, truthfully, the creator energy overall is the feminine energy. If you want to be technical on the energy, you know what I mean? But I don't get caught up in just calling it one energy. Because I call it the creator. The creator is all things in existence. Because the feminine and masculine come out of it. But overall, in every system, even the, the Ifa, because Ifa and the Odu, which is the Odu, which means womb. You see what I'm saying? Because everything comes from the womb, comes into creation out of the womb. It's like, if you want to be technical, the first God concepts, the first creator concepts are feminine. Period. Because everything comes from the great mother, which is the universe. Mawu Lisa is one of the perfected, concepts to describe the creator, man. You see what I'm saying? So in Togo and Dahomey, Mawu Lisa is their center creator. And that's your feminine and masculine deity, you know what I mean, which is one. And when you want to say everything at once, God existed, everything else in expression is an aspect of the divine essence that is nature of voodoo. And voodoo says everything is the aspect of God and God is in all things. You simply say Lisa saw Be Lisa. That is saying that's basically saying that God is the expression of all things. By saying Lisa Sobe Lisa. You see what I'm saying? So when you say Lisa Sobe Lisa, you're basically saying you recognizing that God, the creator, is the expression of all things. You see what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's simple. Voodoo is very simple, man. And what is that divine aspect? What is that divine essence and aspect of the divine essence that is in all things? Which is, your Orishas, your Loas, your Netarus, Abosams out of the Akon in Ghana, the Ashanti and the Asante tribes, those spiritual energies that we worship and we call upon. You see what I'm saying? That energy that's in your plants, you know what I mean? The energy that's in animals, the energies that's earth, the energy that's in water, the energy that's in humans. You see what I'm saying? That is what the divine essence is. You see what I'm saying? This is what your cosmic forces, your karmic energies, what your ancestral energies are. But basically, they are what your cosmic forces of nature and your cosmic forces of the universe is, which is within you also. Like I just said, which is your Loas of Voodoo, your Orishas or your Aruba and the Ifa, your Netarus and your Abosams. This is what the divine essence is. You see what I'm saying? In Voodoo and in your universal spiritual system that you call upon. You see what I'm saying? This is what that is. This is what your Loa is in Voodoo. You know what I mean? So let's just get that straight also, man. And I'm gonna use for example, plants. That spiritual energy that's in plants is a loa, it's a orisha. And the elements in that plant and what's in it is a pharmaceutical element that you can use for healing or replenishing of the body. The element of that plant that heals and replenishes the body is a force. It's an energy. You see what I'm saying? Like the chlorophyll that's in all things that's green. You see what I'm saying? That we need for our body to heal and replenish itself. This is why we say eat your vegetation. This is why you must eat your greens. Get it, not necessarily become a vegetarian, but know that you must eat things of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why cats tell you to leave meat and all those type of things alone and get it back into your fruits, your vegetation, and all these things that your body needs, which is from the earth. This is our things. This is your medicine, man. Voodoo is medicine. The spiritual energies are medicine. This is what you need to heal yourself. And not only to heal yourself physically, but most important, these things heal you mentally and keep you in tune with your higher self, and to keep yourself conscious and your lower self energies suppressed and defeated, and to live a positive and good life. You see what I'm saying? This is what that energy force is that's within all things. Plants, animals, humans, water, earth, nature. It's that energy that's going to replenish and heal you, man. It's nothing evil. It's all positive, man. This is what traditional African spiritual systems are. This is what voodoo is. So go get that medicine, man. You see what I'm saying? This is what your orishas is. This is what I said on my last video about orishas and Yoruba. Everything, all these energies are in your consciousness and in your DNA, man. All of it. And it's also outside of you also, which is in your nature, in the universe. This is why everything is connected. This is why in African traditional spiritual system, we in the Babalawo, your high priest, your female priestesses. This is why they always tell you that all things are connected, which they are, man. Nothing is separated when you're dealing with the divine essence of all existence, man. Everything's connected. Everything. Period. You know what I mean? And let me get into the sacrifices thing, man. This is also the biggest misconception of voodoo. It's the sacrifice and the rituals of voodoo and all traditional African spiritual systems that has been blown out of proportion and demonized by European supremacy. Let me get into the sacrifice of animals, man, and sacrificing period, man, because sacrifice is a spiritual and mental consciousness, period. First of all, let's get that straight. This is what sacrifice is. You must sacrifice to develop yourself and to evolve yourself to reach your higher self. Sacrifice is always in all things to reach that higher self, man. You must sacrifice in life for positivity, man. It's simple as that. I break it down simple as that. You must sacrifice to reach your higher self. So, but let me get into the physical aspect of sacrifice that's been blown out of proportion. Like when you see voodoo priests and voodoo priests sacrifice animals. Let me get into that, man. Animals. Animals are no different than humans, man. Let's get that straight, man. They have a spirit. They have a consciousness that may be different than humans. You see what I'm saying? But we're all connected. They're part of the creator also. You see what I'm saying? They come from the creator, right? So, okay. Animals. Animals have the same essence of the divine. So when a sacrifice is done and the animal is sacrificed, remember what I said about the plants? It has a vital energy in it. It has a force in the animal. Just like humans has a force in it. It has a spirit in it. That's the divine essence. So, and that vital energy that's in the animal, once that animal divine energy is released in indigenous African tradition and custom, it says you can capture this energy and use it for positive upliftment positive energy, positive power to get something positive done. Period. This is what a sacrifice is, man. In voodoo. Let me run that back one more time so you can comprehend it. When a sacrifice is made on an animal, and that voodoo priest sacrifices that animal, when that animal is sacrificed, that energy in that animal is released into the universe, released in nature, and once it's released, and that voodoo priest and yourself also, if you choose to do sacrifices with whatever traditional spiritual African tradition you subscribe to, you can capture that energy and to use that force for positive. You see what I'm saying? See, this is where Hollywood twisted at. They made it you, and they indoctrinated in your mind that these voodoo priests and the people who observe voodoo, they use those energies for evil. Not so. You know what I mean? The only time they use that energy is to cure, heal, and remove negative energy. Period. This is what you seeing when you see them sacrificing an animal and you see them killing that animal. And I wouldn't even say killing. I like to use sacrifice because killing is a patriarchal Western concept. So when an animal is being sacrificed, they're using that energy to remove negative energy. It's only used for positive energy and positive power, period. Nothing evil, man. So stop stereotyping our African ancestors with that. Europeans, go do your research. Stop doing that, man. You see what I'm saying? Because that's totally wrong and that's totally false. You're giving out false information, man. Period. Simple as that, man. This is what the sacrifice in voodoo is. Positive energy, healing, upliftment of the spirit. Period. And you're using nature and the cosmic energies to do it. Period, man. Just like what these $1 million corporations prescribe to you to help you with your ailments and your health problems, and you go pay all that money for pills and drugs and all these things to drug you up. You know what I mean? They're using voodoo, but they're using it in a European ideology, Urugu way, man, and getting rich off it. They're getting rich off spirituality, which is their spirituality. Don't get it confused with our African indigenous spirituality, because they like I said, Urugu can't be spiritual. You see what I'm saying? So that's all the corporations doing. That's all the Europeans doing. The same thing, man. I told you they take from African people and create their own things out of it. This is what I'm trying to get to you. See how Europeans take from what you already have, which is pure, and pervert it and use it for their selfish, egotistical ways and domination and control over people, man. And to get capital out of it, get money out of it. That's not the real spirituality, man. See how they took from voodoo? They took medicine. And the thing about it, they take indigenous plants and all these type of resources out of Africa to create these medicines. But they poison the medicine because they add their poisonous touch to it and put their poisonous ingredients in it, which completely destroyed the pureness of that natural indigenous plants that you can get healing from, like herbs. This is why you see voodoo priests use herbs, everything from the earth, resources from the earth, incorporated into their rituals and things, man, and their sacrifices, man. It's all positive, man, to destroy negative energy, because this is what you're doing as human beings, period. You're trying to defeat negative energies, which we all are born with. See, we are all born with, we are walking duality, you know what I mean, polarity. We are, because science is spiritual, and spiritual is science. So when you're being created and you're coming within the third dimension realm and you're coming within the earth and you're coming into existence as a human, you are duality. You are negative. You are positive. But all these stories and all these religions, even the Abrahamic religions, they have elements of voodoo because they come from voodoo. Voodoo is the origin of these Abrahamic religions called Islam, Christianity, Judaism. You know what I mean? But it's been perverted and destroyed and created into something that's patriarchal, something that's, you know, political, control of the mind and the body and the spirit. So it's no good for you. See, when you return to the indigenous African tradition, you will start to heal mentally and physically because you're dealing directly with the source. This is why I don't deal with nothing that's been tampered with. I deal with everything in its purest form, which is indigenous, man. You see what I'm saying? African. Voodoo. You see what I'm saying? So let me finish this. Let me finish the video off, man. Let me run down a recap and a synopsis of what voodoo is. Voodoo is about overstanding nature and your relationship to nature and its relationship to you. And this goes back to the first African and divine essence, which is the creator, Olodumare, Ashe. Mawa, Lisa, Ashe. This is what Allah is. This is what Jehovah is. Not Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is a human. He's not God. He may have had the spirit in him, which is God, but he's not the divine essence. So he's not your savior. Your savior is yourself, because the divine essence is within you. So you must save yourself while you're in the physical form. And what is saving yourself? Starting to live a righteous life, start doing good things, start to do less things of negativity, to treat yourself divine. And that is to treat your temple divine and to treat your mental divine. And to constantly evolve into a better human before your transition comes. That is saving yourself, the supreme energy life force. Before you return back into the ancestral realm, the great mother, the back to the source, the universe, man. That's all it is, man. Period. This is what the stories of all these prophets are telling you. You must save yourself. No one is coming back to save you. Period. And indigenous African traditional systems teach you this. Religions don't. This is the difference between religion and spirituality. So don't ever get it twisted. Europeans are trying to detach you from your original self, man. That's all they've been doing for years because they know how powerful African black people are. Once they are in their indigenous state, mentally and physically. We can't be defeated. We've proven that. So return to these systems is all I ask you. Just study them. Don't run away from them because you see it in a movie. And another thing, another big misconception of voodoo. Voodoo people don't use voodoo dolls, man. They don't. Voodoo priests, Hogan priests, and all these priests and priestesses in these African traditional religions do not use voodoo dolls, man. That is the biggest lie in the history of voodoo, man. They don't use that shit. Excuse my cussing, because they're getting me pissed off. Voodoo don't use voodoo dolls, man. They don't use that. That's Hollywood. That's Holly weird. That's European supremacy telling you that, man. So let me finish this off. And by that being the first African divine essence, which is voodoo, your DNA is the traces of your ancestor. They are embedded in every cell, every gene in your body. They are not dead, man. This is what your ancestors, this is why we say pay homage to your ancestors, man. They are a major part of ancestral veneration and salutation and homage of voodoo and all African tradition systems. Pay homage to your ancestors. They are better than your DNA. They are in your cells. They are in your genes. You are your ancestors. They are in you. You are a walking neo-prototype, the most powerful prototype and entity of your ancestors right now. And every ancestor that transitions before you becomes a part of you. Period, man. You know what I mean? What else is voodoo in your ancestors? Your ancestors are the molecules. They are the electrons. They are the protons that you are, man. You see what I'm saying? And again, the first ancestors that come out of that divine essence and elements that made the first humans, that is the essence of voodoo, the sacred science of African indigenous traditional systems. Period, man. And this must be taught through culture. Culture is the teacher of spirituality and the defender and protector of your spirituality. This is what culture is. COE. Culture over everything, man. You know what I mean? Culture protects people against genocide. And it protects you against genocide, man. And culture is the educational system. Just like all these institutions, colleges, universities, academies, that's culture. So you got to be cautious of what institutions that you are in. Because that institution can bring more harm than good to your culture. Especially when you trying to return to your indigenous culture and getting a better understanding of your indigenous spirituality, man, from which we was detached from in slavery. So culture is your educational system. It's the teacher. It teaches you about voodoo, Ifa, leukemia, abosom, all these African traditional systems, man, and even comedic science, because that's nothing but voodoo, man. You see what I'm saying? Culture is the educational system of a people that informs people of the best wisdom of our ancestors, man. You see what I'm saying? And when you're speaking of voodoo, you're speaking of the way that God, you're speaking of the way of God that overstands by the Africans that have passed it down through centuries, man. And you do that, you know what I'm saying, by learning about voodoo. Period. Man, that's all it is, man. And what are the rituals? Rituals in voodoo and all the African traditional systems are nothing but the ways of it's nothing but teaching the ways of life. Rituals are ceremonies. They're like, you know what I'm saying, universities. Rituals have its volume system of a people. A people must be able to teach the ideas and concepts and principles through rituals, ceremonies, celebrations, observations, festivals, are nothing but coordinated cycles of nature. Period. If you can't understand that, man, I don't know what to tell you. Let me say that one more time before I shut this video off. Rituals are nothing but systems, value systems of a people that must be taught the ideas and concepts and principles, man, of observations, ceremonies, festivals, which are nothing but coordinated cycles of nature. Period, man. And I hope you understood this, man, before I sign this video off, man. And I just want to say, I pay homage to my ancestors. I give thanks to my ancestors. I respect all African traditional systems. Voodoo, Ifa. I just want to say, man, just go do your homework on all these traditional systems. And you can go cop books like these books right here. You know what I mean? Just a couple of books that I have that I'm currently reading on these type of systems. This is this book is called The African Spirituality on Becoming an Ancestor by Anthony Ephraim Doncourt. You know what I mean? Here's another book that you can go cop. You know what I mean? Which is called Of Water and the Spirit, Ritual Magic and the Initiation and the Life of an African Shaman by Malidama Patrice Somé. And this was the last book that I actually read. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I'm into Ifa. This is called The Way of the Orisha, Empowering Your Life Through the Ancient African Religion of Ifa by Philip John Neymar. You know what I mean? Go cop any book on voodoo, Ifa, and African traditional spiritual systems, man. And you'll get a better understanding, man. But always remember, voodoo is nothing but a system of the divine essence and nature and the cosmos that's giving you the power to keep your negative self and these negative energies in this world that keeps you from development into your higher self, you know what I mean, defeated, suppressed, eradicated. Period. And I'm going to sign off right here, man. This has been Haki Kweli Shakur, the Cedar Gabriel Prosser, man. And once again, no stadium in Shako Bottom. One love to my ancestors, man. And that's about it, man. Free the land, man. Power to the people who don't feel freedom, man. And don't fear yourself, man. Ashe. Rebuild. Salime.